Channel Sport this morning, and our guest has joined us in the studio now. Chidebere is a sports journalist. Yeah, Chidebere, what a day to have you in the studio. Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah,
good morning.
Yeah. I'm eager to talk about the Falcons.
Yeah.
And the fact that they'll be playing in the WAFU Nations Cup.
Praise the Lord.
In a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Yeah. Let me respond to that. I mean, they're playing. Let's get serious now. The draw is out. It looks, Cecilia says Senegal perhaps is the only tough team in the group. I don't agree, because all the other sides that are coming as well too, they're not coming to watch the Falcons just play. They're there to actually give a good representation for their country. Yeah. But the Falcons, everyone has been talking about it for ages now. They're still coachless. They haven't played a game since the last one.
Since the game against Cameroon.
How many years ago was that now?
Yeah, 2 years.
A long time. Yeah. And they're going into a tournament.
Over 13 months.
Going into a tournament, and Nigerians usually, expectedly, think they'll go there and win. Yeah. Yeah, you can. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, well, what do you make of all this?
Of course, it's not okay that till now we don't have a coach. First of all, I think the NFF should, you know, heart in hand, go back to Florence Omagbemi. Yes. Wow. Because I think she did a good job. She should have gotten the respect that she deserves. I think she's a perfect candidate. The ladies respect her. Right. They seem to, you know, adhere to her instructions. I think they should get her back. Alternatively, get a coach. But then, talking about the tournament, I think Nigeria, most of our best players, most of our players play indigenously. And we have a couple of, come on, our girls are good. So if it's going to the tournament to, you know, play good football, Africa, we seem to have it covered. The problem is when we go out into the world. That's where, you know, the problem arises, when, you know, tactical abilities and, you know, coaches' instructions come into play. That's where we have a problem. But when it comes to Africa, we seem to dominate it purely on talent's sake, because we have players really to prosecute most of these games.
Okay. Interesting. Now, you mentioned the fact that it's a shame that they still don't have a coach.
Yeah,
and Cecilia, how many days ago was it?
You said
when
10
the
days.
NFF president came on our show, the night show, and, you know, assured Nigerians that the Falcons we're going to get a coach in how many days' time? I think he said about
10 days. 10 days.
Tell me more about that.
After the sports award, he said 10 days.
No, after, I mean, that didn't work out. Then we have another one again. You know, when he talked about, I mean,
there's been another
20 years.
There's been another assurance
on the show Sports Tonight, and he talked about that. Maybe we'll just recall that interview again, you know, when he was talking with Austin Okonekman on Sports Tonight, saying that, look, he's assuring everyone that the Super Falcons are going to get a world-class coach and also get to play a friendly against France.
In the next 2 weeks, we'll be signing a world-class coach, coming with his assistant for the Super Falcons. That's our next stop. We've arranged a friendly game with the Super Falcons and France, which of course I think is coming up on the 4th of April. That I can tell you, because that has been signed. It doesn't have any confidentiality clause. We're also trying to see if they can play another female team, so they'll do a double-header, because their next qualifying game for the World Cup is in June. So we are trying to see if we can do that. So we are ready for them, because we know that they have great talent.
Yeah, ready. They have great talents and all that. So we'll see, counting down to that 2 weeks, in 2 weeks' time, right? Today's 10th of January. Maybe before this week runs out, we'll get to have an announcement. But the thing is, for the WAFU Cup, we get to see the way the draw has been done. You know that Senegal is a very tight country. I mean, a tight country, yeah, so to speak, when it comes to women's football. You have Benin Republic there and Togo. So that's why I said the only team I think that might just give us a little bit of push will have to be Senegal. But if you look at Benin Republic and Togo, I don't think they really have it when it comes to women's football. And you might be having some of these teams putting on out there. Very close, but then we know of all of them, Giant of Africa, #1 in Africa, been to all the World Cup and all that, but this one might just be an easy one for them.
Not necessarily, because the possibility that you have Nigerians playing for Benin Republic is there, and of course we know their talents. For me, I think the team will pick the best players from our league. We've seen how effective the league was last season. It's not where we want it to be, but it was better than we've ever seen it before. So it was quite competitive. A new winner, meaning we have new crops of players, you know, coming out of our league. So I think it's an opportunity for whoever is called on to manage the team, even if it's on the interim basis, you know, to pick young players that can replace some of the old horses, you know, in the team, or serve as an opportunity for us to source out players that we can, if we're not able to grow our league as fast as we want it, you know, export to the world. I think we have the qualities. That we need to start getting players, you know, to play in the state of the likes of, I know she's still young, they are still young. That's talking about Desire and Azizat Oshoala. You know, these are players that we've seen what they can do over time. Now we need to start getting new players, you know, to make up the national team. So for me, when it comes to talent, I think we have this covered. If we don't win the WAFU Cup, I will be surprised.
Yeah,
February 14th, that's when it's starting. I think, I mean, I had feelings that we might just have Edin Okun take temporary charge because when Wardrobe was announced, he was part of those that were supposed to be his assistants. Maybe they just pick some of those coaches, but from what Maju Pinnick said when he went to Sportsline the last time, he says the coach is going to come in with his assistant. So, you know, there's a clause there. And that will bring us to the issue of what Kojo Williams raised, the former NFA chairperson, when he was on Sportsline last night. Spoke with us in the Konakba. Us and asking so many questions concerning the girls. I mean, one thing he said that everyone have to take away is the fact that Nigerian Football Federation should stop the dilly-dallying. I mean, just go for a coach you want to go for, a world-class coach. And if they have that, they're sure they'll definitely win the 2019 World Cup.
I always say, the team that will win the World Cup, the first senior World Cup level, at any given time, in the future now, is the female team. They've got the potentials. The only problem they have is a coaching crew. And we keep getting the same type of coaches to work with those girls. When you watch our teams play at the World Cup, the female team, watch them the first half in any game, first half of any game, they do excellently well. But the other nations like Germany, Brazil, what do? They study, they have good coaches, they study our game, the first half, go back, come back there, change everything, and then they win. So if we have a very good coaching crew that can work with those girls, you understand, that are technically sound, because our girls have what it takes, they will be world champions, even in the next World Cup.
Wow.
They got what it takes. So I'm never ever bothered about the girls. They will be world champions. You can't take it away from them. But the problem is that the administrators have to understand what it takes, the type of technical crew they need to get for those girls to be world champions. We should stop dragging our feet. We should be world champions. The girls have it. They're ready.
You know, it's always difficult when you don't have a coach, when a team has been inactive for more than 13 months and you have them preparing for a WAFU tournament, which is starting on the 14th of February to 24th. That's when it's going to end. And then you don't even have them in camp yet. So when you have these dreams, we've got talent, we've got what it takes, and you don't really, you've not set it in motion, we're still waiting and waiting. It's always very difficult to, you know, believe some of this stuff.
Well, like I said, we have most of them are back in camp for preparation for the new season. So the girls might not have been as inactive as we think. But
I'm talking about the national team now, not the players.
Well,
the national team itself.
We can hammer on how much they have not played in the last 13 months for we can, but it's the reality of the situation. And like I said, we need to get someone, even if it's on the interim, because I agree quite rightly with the comments. We need the technical crew is what we need. The talent is there. We have players. We saw Nigeria play against Sweden. We matched them basically on talent and not, and they ended up, you know, it was 3-3 at the end. But we see so many of these games we lose 1-0. It's just for tactical ability. You know, the coaches tweak here and there, and then they just surpass us by the lone goal. So for me, I think we need to get the tactical side of our game right. We have the talent. And the inactivity of the players, I think it can, of course, affect a group. But then when you talk about women football in Africa, I think we've seen Nigeria not win tournaments or be disappointed at certain stages. But I think the players now, we're not talking about those elite players, those of them who are already plying their trade in Europe or Asia. We're talking about players who need this opportunity, because if you feature in the WAFU tournament, you have, unlike the men team, you have a better likelihood of making it into the Super Falcons that goes to, play the World Cup qualifiers or goes to the World Cup. And of course, we know that the World Cup later, the Nations Cup later this year, is also an opportunity for these girls to make their name. So for me, I think, yes, they've been inactive as Super Falcons, but individually, these players, they have what it takes, to prosecute this tournament.
Yeah, but Coach Williams talked about the World Cup, talked about world domination. That was because you've done Africa over and over again.
It's retired,
It's about time you step up. And that's what he was talking about, that if they can put certain things in place, they have what it takes to go and dominate. But if you look at the competition at the world level, it's not as easy as that.
Tayo, when was the last time Nigeria was beaten, 3-0 in a World Cup competition? It's been a while, because we are not that far away. Like I said, it's about tactical ability. We go in 0-0 at halftime or 1-1 at halftime. We'll come back in the second half and they must have tweaked something. Like I said, it's about the technical crew, the ability to read the game, and of course the players' ability to interpret the instructions of the manager. For me, I think they all go hand in hand. We need to get, be it a foreign manager, be it a Nigerian coach who will come in and get to the level of our counterparts out there, the France, the Germans,
even England. I mean, they're thriving right now.
Exactly, and with all their problems in their national team, I think for me, I think we can do it. Do we have what it takes this year to dominate the world? I don't know. I don't think so, because our house is not in order yet.
2019?
Yeah, maybe if we got it right now, with a seamless qualification to the World Cup, prosecute the Nations Cup perfectly, then Nigeria might just be sitting in a position to at least get to the semi-finals of the World Cup.